Hello, everyone. It's Yoli Medina, civil attorney. Today I'm going to talk about the federal stalking laws because it's relevant with regard to a number of true crime cases that have been recently showcased in the media. So one of them is Luigi Mangione. He was charged with federal stalking laws. Not only was he charged with that, but he was charged with a number of federal crimes, including firearms charges, and he was also charged with state crimes. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the federal stalking law uh, because it applies to a number of true crime cases. So, first of all, I'm going to put up the federal stalking law, which is interstate stalking. And here it talks about, interstate stalking, and it's section 2261A of the Crimes and Criminal Procedure Title 18. So I'm just going to read it. It says, whoever travels in interstate or foreign commerce or within the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States, or enters or leaves Indian country with the intent to kill, injure, harass, or intimidate another person, and in the course of or as a result of such travel places, that person in reasonable fear of the death or serious bodily injury to that person, a member of the immediate family as defined in section 115 of that person, or the spouse or intimate partner of that person, or with the intent to kill, injure a person in another state or tribal jurisdiction, or within the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States, or to place a person in another state or tribal jurisdiction, or within the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States in reasonable fear of the death or serious bodily injury to that person, a member of the immediate family as defined in section 115 of that person, or a spouse or intimate partner of that person, uses the mail or any facility of interstate or foreign commerce to engage in a course of conduct that places that person in reasonable fear of the death of or serious bodily injury to any of the persons described in clauses 1 through 3 shall be punished as provided in section 2261B. So that's the interstate stalking law, and the punishment which it refers to under 2261B. There's a separate section that talks about the punishment, which I'm not going to go into right now. I'm just going to talk about this statute and how it applies to recent true crime cases that are in the media. Okay, so we know there's a lot of cases. There's Luigi Mangione, he was actually charged with that statute. There's Micah Miller, where there is a federal investigation based on the FBI raid to her husband's home. And it could be that, among other things, the FBI is investigating a federal stalking statute because she lived in one state and was found unalived in another state. Allegedly, it was a self-unaliving. And so the FBI is investigating her spouse for various reasons. And one of the reasons could be, and probably is, this federal stalking statute, because it involves stalking somebody across state lines. Now, the other case that it may apply to is Brian Kohberger, although it might have applied to Bryan Kohberger in terms of the fact that Bryan Kohberger may have crossed state lines to stalk the 4 victims, Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, with the intent to unalive them or put them in fear. But as we know, there was some at one of the hearings, Elizabeth Massoff, I think it's her name, the attorney, one of the attorneys for Bryan Kohberger, she brought up federal grand jury subpoenas. And those subpoenas, we don't know what they were for or why the federal grand jury was investigating, and that might be why there's a gag order. Or it may be that the federal grand jury was looking to indict Bryan Kohberger on federal stalking charges. We don't know. But in any event, Bryan Kohberger was not or has not been charged with federal stalking charges. And so we know that, at least as far as Bryan Kohberger is concerned, I don't think that the federal stalking law applies to him. And there's also, Sebastian Rogers, who's been missing. And if somebody was stalking him online or, across or saw him somewhere in another state and was stalking him in order to kidnap him, then the federal stalking laws may apply. And there's also one specific to children. So these are cases where the federal stalking law may apply. And another case is Nikki McCain, who went missing on tribal lands. And so because tribal lands are sovereign, they're like another country or entity or state, this federal stalking law would apply. So this federal stalking law is very useful for the authorities and for the attorneys prosecuting federal crimes, especially in cases where crimes are committed and it's on the border of a state, these cities that border another state. So this could start coming up a lot in future cases. But for now, I just wanted to point that out. And I wanted to talk about it because someone was actually charged with it. And that's Luigi Mangione. And it's interesting to see it. Now, whether it's going to stick, that I don't know. I haven't analyzed it to that point. And even if I did, I'm not a criminal defense attorney, so I couldn't tell you. But it is interesting that this federal stalking law came about and someone's actually charged with it. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to point that out. And hopefully, for crimes that are committed where there is stalking across state lines, this statute will be used more often in order to charge people who do commit crimes and they're stalking somebody across state lines and they actually have the intent to cross state lines to unalive somebody or to stalk somebody or to put somebody in fear. And so it's going to be interesting to see how Luigi Mangione's charges pan out. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Bye.